to the developing story out of New South Wales, where a single mystery case of community transmission of COVID-19 has authorities on edge. Here is what we know.
Good afternoon, everybody. The three of us were literally in a health meeting just over an hour and a half ago to be advised that we have a case of community transmission in New South Wales.
A gentleman in his 50s from southeastern Sydney.
And here's why they're concerned. Firstly, they're stumped as to how the man caught COVID.
He hasn't returned from overseas. He hasn't worked in border or quarantine roles.
If there's no direct connection that we can establish, we have to assume there are other cases.
Secondly, more than 20 close contacts have already been identified. And he was very active in the inner east over the weekend, visiting a series of locations while authorities believe he was infectious.
I want to thank him for being so fussy and making sure that he was checking in everywhere that he went.
There's a number of venues, and at the moment we want everyone to be isolating and getting a test.
And thirdly, they haven't yet ruled out a more infectious strain. Urgent genomic sequencing now underway.
That genomic testing will give us some indication as to the strain and therefore some potential links.
The Premier's traditionally taken a lighter approach, trusting the state's contact tracers to contain any outbreaks.
And our response will be proportionate, as it always has in New South Wales.
We know the strength of the New South Wales system, the absolute global gold standard.
But a community case out of nowhere has even the Premier on edge.
We just don't know yet, so therefore all options are on the table. Everybody in the state needs to be on high alert.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, isn't it? It is.
It's good on him, we should point out.
Totally,
the QR coding everywhere, because we were reading today that usage, people are 25% down in terms of using your QR check-in.
Yeah.
So the fact that he did the whole way along at all the barbecue stores.
I hope he got his barbecue. If he didn't, somebody sent him a barbecue because he's done the right thing.
He's got the meat.
Yeah, the last stop was the meat store. So you assume that after the 4 different barbecue stores he visited, he ended up getting the barbecue.
Yeah.
There is a sense of that when you're QR coding. You're like, if I'm that person and I've been to a whole bunch of embarrassing places, that's problematic. But it shows that when you do it, if it is you, my gosh, it just makes things so much easier and they can get things really quickly.
Oh, complacency is like... It's so easy to fall into, but it's like it's the number one thing. Yeah. When you said embarrassing places, though, that made me worry because it made me think that you're not going to check in at the most.
No, I'm checking in, baby.
Really?
I'm checking
in. No matter how
even in that
embarrassing
bank store that you go to. Consequences be damned. Yes.
Got to be good content.
Exactly.
Got to be right up there with the quinoa story.
That's it. I live to give.
With so much content online, it's sometimes hard to keep up with it all. And let's face it, who has the time? The Project YouTube has you covered with the stories that matter. Hit subscribe for a daily list of the news that you need to know.